Sometimes timing works for you and sometimes not. Let's take a look at a couple of big updates to the Radioddity DB40-G GMRS mobile radio I reviewed just a couple of days ago. One of the things I appreciate about some vendors is that they listen to user feedback related to their products. In this case, several reviewers, including me, pointed out a couple of annoying things about the DB40-G GMRS mobile radio. On balance, the radio, as previously configured, was a solid radio, but there were a couple of things that detracted from an otherwise solid rig. Hi, and welcome to the Gadget Talk channel, where we do reviews and how-tos on a variety of electronic gadgets that catch my eye. Please like the video and subscribe to keep up with the videos that we post here. I really appreciate it. Radioddity posted an update to the DB40's firmware and new CPS in late June 2024. In fact, it went up just a couple of days after I posted my DB40-G review. There were a couple of fixes that addressed two of my biggest gripes about the DB40-G. First, they fixed the issues around naming channels. When using the radio, they changed the timeout for that function from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. That gives even fumble-finger guys like me a chance to enter a name without timing out. Related to that, the new CPS now has a name column where you can enter names for the channel in the CPS and not worry about things like timeouts. I've done that, and the names transfer to the radio just fine. Here are a couple of photos showing the name column in the CPS and the variable displayed on the radio. The next thing they updated was adding Vox. VOX is not something I use, but some of you might. And now you can access Vox by pressing the ENR key on the radio. One press for on and a second press for off. The Vox level settings remain in the menu system. The ENR key was used to open the menu system. That function now is done using the star key on the microphone. They also added a keyboard lock feature accessed by pressing the pound or hashtag key. As I said, these changes removed the two big issues I had with this radio involving naming. Now, to do the upgrade, download the latest CPS and firmware files from the Radioddity website. Place them in a folder on your Windows computer and extract them from the .zip file. There are two PDF files you should review first. The first one gives you an overview of what's included in the fix. The second gives you a step-by-step instructions on how to do the upgrade. Don't guess, follow them. As with most firmware upgrades, if you deviate from the instructions, you risk bricking the device. The updater software has a fail repair button if things don't go as expected, but it only works if you haven't disconnected the programming cable or removed power from the radio. In going through the process, I noticed a couple of things on my DB40-G. First, it doesn't power on if it's not connected to an antenna or a dummy load. If you're planning on bringing the radio in from the car, have an antenna or load available. Second, mine didn't power on with the programming cable connected. I ended up connecting the microphone, powering it on, and then changing to the programming cable. That seemed to work just fine. Last, the CPS is still a little wonky. Adding names in the name column is a snap, and you can cut and paste characters into and from those cells. The bandwidth still defaults to narrow, so you'll have to change those settings to wide. I found when adding a frequency to the empty channel, the dot or period from my keyboard wasn't accepted, so I got a frequency out of range error. The fix to this is when you clear the air, the cells fill with the frequency of 400.0000. When this is displayed, click the cell so that the numbers are not highlighted, but the cell is active. Use your mouse or arrow keys to move the cursor in front of the dot and backspace to clear the numbers and replace them with the ones you want. For example, I deleted 2 zeros in front of the dot and entered 62 to get 462. That was the number I wanted. Then I navigated behind the remaining zeros, deleted only the zeros, not the dot, and added 72500 to get the rest of the GMRS channel that I wanted. I did the same thing on the transmit side of with the exception of adding 67 before the dot. Like I said, a little wonky, but still easily doable. Hey, just a quick break to let you know that you can support the Gadget Talk channel by using Buy Me a Coffee. It's a crowdsourcing platform where viewers can make one-time donations or become members of the Gadget Talk community. Your support helps provide resources to purchase some of the items reviewed on the channel. I'll put a link in the description below this video. Now, back to our topic. Adding CT, CSS, or DCS codes, setting bandwidth and power levels are all done with drop-down boxes, so that's super easy. I really appreciate vendors who have products that can be updated as fixes are made and new features are added. This update package from Radioddity is certainly worth doing to your DB40-G. I suspect it won't be long before the new DB40s will be shipping with the new firmware anyway. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the Gadget Talk channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Join me over here if you missed my earlier review and tutorial on the DB40-G mobile rig. As always, thanks for watching.